Listen to this. That's not a store-bought cracker, that is 100% sourdough discard that was heading for the bin 10 minutes ago. If you're still tossing out your starter, you're missing out on the easiest cheat code in baking. No kneading for hours, no complex timing, just a perfect golden crunch. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact process using only 3 ingredients. Firstly, you'll need your leftover sourdough starter, the discard from your previous loaves. You want it to be equal part flour and water, so if you need to top it up, just make sure you're using the 1:1 ratio. For this recipe, we're using 200 grams, about 1 cup. Next up is the flour, 132 grams, which is roughly a cup. This is a great way to clear out your pantry since you can mix and match whatever flour types you have at hand. To get that signature crunch, you'll need some fat. Avocado oil, butter, or olive oil works perfectly fine. Today I'm using 32 grams or 2 tablespoons of cold pressed virgin olive oil. Finally, to level up the flavours, grab your favourite herbs. I think a tablespoon of herbes de Provence is just the perfect amount for this dough. You don't need much equipment for this, just some basic kitchen gear. Grab a mixing bowl for your ingredients and either a silicone mat or some greaseproof paper to bake it on. You'll want a baking tray that's just a little bit larger than your mat or your paper. To get your crackers super thin, use a rolling pin, or if you have a pasta machine, that's even better to get a perfectly even thickness. Go ahead and add your flour, oil, sourdough starter, and your herbs right into your mixing bowl. Give that a thorough mix to make sure there aren't any dry spots left. I usually start with a spoon, but once it comes together, you'll want to get there and knead it in by hand. Just a few minutes of kneading is all it takes to get a smooth ball of dough. Then wrap it in cling film and pop it in the fridge for 30 minutes. This gives the dough a chance to firm up, which makes it easier to roll out. Now you can go ahead and preheat your oven. Set it to 170 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. After 30 minutes, go ahead and grab your dough from the fridge. You want to split it into more manageable pieces, depending on the size of your tray. 3 or 4 smaller balls usually work best. Whatever you aren't working with, just wrap it back up, pop it back in the fridge, and this will help it stay firm. Now to keep things from sticking on your rolling pin or baking sheet, use a light dusting of flour. I personally like using rice flour for this, as it's great for preventing any sticking. Now, move your dough onto your baking sheet and roll it out as thin and even as you can. Don't worry if it tears, just patch it up with a little scrap from the edge. Next, grab a fork and prick the dough all over. This docking is what keeps the crackers flat, crispy, and evenly baked. Once you're happy with the thickness, it's time to choose your shape. For that rustic look, you can bake it whole and just break it into shards later. If you want something a bit cleaner, use a pizza cutter, sharp knife to score them into squares. You can even trim the edges first for a perfect rectangle, or use a cookie cutter for circular crackers. Anything that you trim off can just go right back into your next batch of dough. Now that your crackers are shaped, it's time to bake. These usually take 12 to 15 minutes, but keep an eye on them since every oven bakes differently. If you're doing a couple of trays at once, I recommend swapping the positions halfway through. The top rack usually cooks a little faster. You're looking for them to come out a light golden brown colour. Once they're ready, move them straight onto a wire cooling tray. This allows the air to circulate so the bottoms don't get soggy from the steam. Let them cool down to get that perfect snap. Then move them into an airtight container. That is, if you don't eat them all immediately. And that's it. No more guilt about throwing away your discard, just amazing homemade crackers in under 30 minutes. If you find this guide helpful, I'd love you to hit the like button, it really helps the channel, and don't forget to subscribe for more sourdough hacks and fermentation videos. And happy baking!